Good morning. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
Feels nice to say. End of the week.
Oh, we're getting there.
Fall break for a lot of people, right? A lot of the kids.
Yes. Not us.
Has been really unfortunate for me because, of course, I fill in this week and Eli doesn't go to preschool.
So then you're just exhausted all day.
So tired.
So my poor
break
Ollie,
for
we
you.
think he might have mono.
Oh, no.
I know. When we went to the doctor, I thought for sure they were going to be like, it's a virus. There's nothing we can do. Go home. But no, I called and they said, yeah, you need to bring him in. And within 2 seconds, the doctor was like feeling because apparently the organs get enlarged, which I had no idea. Yeah. He has been so out of it all week. He was supposed to go play with his little friends, and I feel so bad. I mean, I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah. But it takes a long time to get over that, though.
No, mono is awful.
Mono's like 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
It can be a week to a month. It just kind of depends.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
poor kiddo. Not to start this
know.
off on a sad note, but man, fall break and you're supposed to be running around playing.
I know, especially with temperatures starting to get a little bit better.
So nice. 80s tomorrow, guys.
Yes.
80s
89,
tomorrow.
right? Yes.
Good.
I'm wearing a turtleneck.
Are you?
Boots.
Do it? You're just going to wrap it leather.
I have,
The whole
yeah.
Build your
nine.
trench coat, right?
I've seen so many
break
girls
it out.
post. They're like, we don't care if it's hot. We're putting our boots on.
Oh, totally. It's
Their
been
back
too long.
sweat all the way down.
Yeah.
At the very least, a booty. We got to get the ankle booty going at the very least.
Maybe get in the mood, you know?
Well, today is National Bullying Prevention Month, which I think is so interesting that it came on the heels of everything going on with Ellen DeGeneres.
Yes,
When
I know,
she
the
was,
timing.
people were dogging her because she was sitting next to former President George W. Bush at a football game.
Yeah.
The people who wrote in and said how, you know, how could she do this when she said such different views? I love what she said. I tell you guys to be kind every single day. It's not just be kind to the people that
The people who see eye to eye with you. It literally means be kind to all humans, humanity.
Unfortunately, I feel like people are only kind to people who think like them.
Well, apparently, because a lot of people were railing on her on social media, but I think her response is really good. And if you get the chance, we played a little bit of it this morning, but you should
we have
really
some
watch
of
it
it?
in its entirety because it is on Twitter, the whole sentence, the whole speech that she gave about it.
Because it really was so great. I do think, sorry, we're going completely to a different topic.
Well, it's on bullying.
But I think, we're on social media right now, I think between Facebook algorithms with how they put information in front of you that they think that you will like,
Right.
depending on what you like, I think that has almost contributed to this idea of tribalism where you only see things that you would
They think will appeal to you.
Yeah, you see that
an
on
algorithm
Facebook
has decided will appeal to your sensibilities.
Exactly.
Which we have to think beyond that. We have to kind of go beyond that.
I agree. We have to think beyond that.
take the next step.
We need to look at other sources and other people's opinions so that we as human beings can appreciate and understand and also be tolerant of what other people believe.
I know. I remember back in the day when people could have friendly debates
Yes,
and conversation and you would get riled up, but at the end of the day, it wasn't like you're going to divorce your friend for life because
Totally.
of what they posted on Facebook or whatever. But it's like things just really got out of hand. They really got out of hand.
Or just don't talk about it. Like, I have friends that have different beliefs than I do, but you just don't bring those subjects up, you know, and you get along in other
And if
areas.
you do, they're still a good person.
Yeah, like
Let me have my beliefs, you have your beliefs, and let's just
Can't we all just be
appreciate
friends?
each other. Yeah.
Can't we all just get along?
remember that saying that your mom said, if you have nothing nice to say, then don't say it at all.
See, and
I
I
like
think
that one.
that leads right into what we've been talking about,
Yes.
how you tackle bullying. That's been one of the golden rule too. You know, treat others how you would like to be treated. That was something big for us growing up in my house. Was, why would you do something like that to someone? You wouldn't want someone to do that to you.
Well, I think a lot of people are just stuck inside. They don't get outside. All they do is sit at their computer. And I've been noticing that on one of the area groups that I'm a part of. It's like, oh, the stupid tree wasn't cut down by the HOA. And I'm like, wow, it's a tree trimming, guys. Like, let's just scale it back. I mean, that, you know, is just an example.
Totally.
Yes.
But, I mean, if you're talking about that way, and then something that's like actually serious, and then it ramps up that much more, I think we need to break it off. I mean, when I'm stuck in my house for a little too long, I start to feel a little bit loopy.
Yes.
You gotta get
For
out.
sure.
Get
You
some
have
fresh
to get
air.
out.
Take a walk.
It's very tough just scrolling through all this stuff that you read
Yeah.
and see and, you know, all that stuff. It does. I think it puts you in a bad place. So,
it
you know,
just has, like,
sometimes
an
you just have to
air.
like say, I got to get out. I got to get out of the
do.
fog of reading all this stuff.
Or just snooze people. I snooze people who
you have
put negative things online.
Well, did you hear what Instagram does now too? Instead of blocking or unfollowing someone, and this is a way to fight bullying, they have the restrict feature. You know me. I love to block.
She does.
If I hear anything, especially when I'm pregnant, and the comments that come with a news person being pregnant, like God forbid.
I know.
I just block people because I just don't want to hear it. In my opinion, in so many cases, ignorance is bliss. So you can say terrible things about me,
like
but
that,
you don't have to hear it. But Instagram is doing something really interesting because they noticed that a lot of kids didn't want to block or unfollow because then it almost like ramps up the problem.
For sure.
And then that person can still say bad things about you, but you can't see it anymore. So they came up with this new feature called Restrict, where you can just restrict the person's comments. So they can make a comment on your picture, but only they can see it if they're restricted. Yes.
Okay, I remember we talked about it.
It still appears to them as if like
everybody else can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to do that.
But now they will only see. They're the only ones who can see the comment. You can see the comment, and that's it.
I like that.
I think it's a great idea.
That is good.
Because then you can still monitor the bullying behavior. What Instagram noticed, and Instagram's owned by Facebook, but what they noticed is that when you would block the person, that person would continue to obliterate you.
Yeah.
Worse.
But then you're not seeing it, so then you can't really handle the problem.
Right.
I had a problem like this where there was one person, this was years back when I was at the Olympics, and they were saying horrible things about me on our 12 News Facebook page. Horrible, lighting me up, and for I don't even know what. It was just not to like me, which is fine. You don't have to like me at all, but to go crazy. So I blocked them. But then I didn't realize that they were commenting on everything about me, you know, all over. But I couldn't see it. Which was good for me, but bad that this other behavior was still going on.
Or you couldn't delete any of the comments because you didn't know.
Yeah, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Right. So
I like that. I think, like, in the bullying conversation as a parent, it's gotten so different because of social media. You're not just dealing with your kids getting bullied in the classroom or at the cafeteria at school. It's like it goes on outside the school walls, and I think that's why in a lot of instances the school district has lost control because they're like, well, you know, their fallback is always how do we discipline when it's happening outside of the classroom, which is easy for them to say, but it's so destructive. And then it's also getting to sometimes kids that don't even go to school with your kid are all piling on. So it's
live in a different state, for
wide
goodness sakes.
you know, it's way more far reaching than it ever was when we were growing up.
Yeah, you'll have to shed light on this for us because we don't have kids yet in the older school system. They're not involved with that, and I'm hoping that by the time we get to that point,
I'm the exact same.
That we have shoved it in children's faces so much that do not act like this. It is terrible. It is ruining lives. It is ruining families. It is hurting people. That whole sticks and stones statement is so not true at all. And so I'm hoping that by 10 years from now, we'll be a lot wiser, a lot smarter, and a lot kinder.
I definitely feel like what I've seen just even in our elementary school level and moving forward to like junior high now, that the school districts seem to have more of a, because remember growing up with like DARE, like Say No to Drugs, or like that whole campaign. I feel like now there's a lot going on in the schools with these anti-bullying campaigns. So I noticed the kids come home and they're getting this message. So I'm like, at least the school districts are somewhat trying to have it be something that's regularly talked about it, and to and so I'll see some kids will say to another kid who's doing, hey, that's bullying. They'll call him out, at this young age. However, once they get into that junior high age where they have the apps and they have the social, it's a different ball game altogether. So that's, we don't have any of those social media apps yet because I'm like holding on for dear life, trying not to make it happen.
There is a big push, especially here in Arizona, to make sure that schools are equipped with mental health counselors because that has been a big with budget cuts and everything, there just isn't room, there isn't money for it. But now I know that there's a lot of people who are pushing to get those back into our schools. I think at this point, with the crazy stuff that's going on, not only with technology, but just with, I know that we say video games, but I'm going to say it again, video games, everything, that there has to be an outlet for these children. Sometimes they're scared to talk to mom and dad. You know, sometimes they're scared to really say what's going on. And so having a third party that's available in their school, just at school that they can talk to, I think is so vital. There was this really I think it was Will Smith. I was watching Red Table Talk. He was talking to his kids about the like trust bubble. That whenever their kids were in trouble or done something at school or something bad was going on, they would enact the trust bubble. And once they said that, regardless of what was going to come out of their kid's mouth, they couldn't get in trouble and that they couldn't be judged for what they were going to say. That like, hey, Dad, I did this. Or this happened at school. You can't react poorly. You just have to listen to me.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. I got to go back and read that.
Yeah.
Or listen to it.
Like to see how that works out. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is interesting here because a lot of people making comments on the Facebook posts are like that they're going to deal with the parents, and I don't think that's a good way to go about it either.
Deal with the parents.
So I have a friend who her kid was getting bullied, and she like followed the school bus and then just talked to the child, talked to the parents. I'm like, man, you are braver than me. Good for you. It all ended well. She handled it very well, but I gotta be honest, I don't know that I could do that. I'd be a little nervous.
I think in some instances, I feel like you kind of have to. It also depends on the age of the child as well. You know, when they're younger and there is some bullying going on in the classroom, we have had instances where you've had to go to the parent to say, I'm not sure if you're aware, but it's so awkward.
Yes.
But little Susie is doing X, Y, Z, but I feel like the parent may not know.
Yeah.
So we had an instance with some friends of ours, 2 daughters, and one was really being kind of a mean girl to the other daughter, but this is like a group of couples, like we all travel together, we all know each other very well, and the kids were getting called into the principal's office and it was becoming a thing.
Yikes.
And it got to the point where the parents were like, well, we didn't know that our daughter was capable of this behavior. So it was forced through the principal, the administration, that the parents had to come in and discuss it with each other, and then we're talking about it outside while we're on a vacation together. So, but you kind of, I feel like you have to sometimes as a parent step in and I am like mama bear. I am going to defend my kid. I always find fault in my children. Believe me, I feel like I'm more fair. I usually almost think that they're more at fault. That's kind of my ground zero is what did you do to deserve? What are you doing wrong? What did you do to instigate?
Why is she crying?
I'm always at that. I come from that place. I always leave the teachers and then I ask the child. But sometimes you do have to step in and just at least make an attempt to protect them, an initial contact with the other parent.
Well, for sure. The bottom line, you are their parent. Like you are their ultimate protector.
Right.
And the person who needs to go to bat for them above anyone else. But you're right. You need to start at a place of humility before you just jump to like.
But what about like, so only because of these comments, like, so I think sometimes it comes from the parents, right? The kids learn this behavior at home. And so a lot of these people commenting are like, well, I'm going to take it up with the parents, but in a altercation type of way versus like, let's talk it out and see how we can help our kids, you know, in a way so this doesn't happen. But instead the parents are like, we're going to beat each other up and I'm going to go after their dad and I'm going to beat them up. And a lot of people are saying this in the comments.
You're being sarcastic,
I'm
right?
not going to go toe-to-toe with another parent in that way, but I'm going to try to talk out the situation.
It's like, one's like, I hope mom and dad can fight. Like,
you know what I'm nervous about,
guys are crazy.
I'm nervous about when having to deal with a parent who just is completely like, not my kid. You know, because there's so many that are like
that. It definitely happens,
love that.
So what do you do in that situation when the parent won't even get involved because they don't think it's a problem? Get it on video? Like, I don't know. I don't know how that... I hope I'm never that parent.
That was kind of the situation, is that the parents were like, we're shocked. We can't believe that she would ever behave like this. And then you start hearing from the other moms, it's like, she's been doing this for the last 3 years to all the other girls in the class. So I don't know why they're acting like this is the first time they've heard of it. But then you can only do so much. Then it's when you have to just go back to the school and go back to the teacher, try to get the kids. Like, we've had to ask, you know, for next year, let's not put Johnny in Jimmy's class. Let's see if we can just split up the boys, you know, whatever, put them in a different classroom, sometimes split the girls up in a fresh school year. You have to kind of request those things, I think, just to prevent the interaction. Now, can you prevent it on social media? No.
Right.
But at least they're not sitting next to each other every day dealing with it.
But even in school, it's hard. Sorry, like I remember I got bullied when I was growing up, and my mom was Mama Bear, and she came in and took over. So she like called the parent, she called the principal. We had a meeting. We talked it all out.
Did it make it worse?
It made it worse. So initially at the end, the girl ended up wanting to be my friend, and she didn't know how to express that. So instead, she was mean to me, and then and we ended up becoming best friends later. But so
this wasn't me.
No. But initially, she didn't know how to show it. So, but what happened when we first told her mom about it, right? So then she got the other girls at school to come against me, and so then they started being mean to me. So it was like the girl, she's not my friend, but the girl back then, and then all her group of people that she hung out with, and they were mean to me, and it was like you didn't want to go to school because they were mean, you know?
Were you scared to tell your mom about it?
My mom knew because I'm an only child, and like when I'd come home crying and like sad, you know, and so she was like, well, we're gonna take care of this, and she went full Mama Bear for sure. And so I think like she kind of handled it with her mom, but we were in the principal's office with the principal, and so finally it got figured out, but like initially it took time, like, you know.
So looking at that experience, what if your daughter comes to you and says that how would you do it? Would you do it exactly like your mom did, or how would you do it differently that you think it could work?
It's hard because like even taking it up with the principal and the other parent, like the kid's still gonna do what they want to do at school.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like even though you tell them, okay, this isn't good for you, don't do this, don't treat other people this way, the kid is still gonna bully. Like, so I don't know like how I would handle that situation, because I would go straight to the principal or the counselor and then have the parent come in as well, so that way we have like, they're kind of like a mediator, so we can talk about it, and then hopefully the kids feel comfortable sharing, you know, their sides of the story too. But then what happens when everybody leaves?
Right.
That's the problem.
Have you dealt with principals or counselors or teachers who won't do anything, or who won't believe or won't get involved?
Yeah, we've had some teachers who just didn't want to get involved. They're like, oh, they'll grow out of it. They'll do this and that. Not with my particular child or anything, but just I've seen it, you know, in the different situations. And so they're just like, oh, they're just kids. It's fine, you know, that kind of thing. And it's irritating.
Yeah.
It is irritating. You know, and it's upsetting and it's not helpful.
Because you're almost like you're giving your kids over to the school.
They're
and you're
there for a lot of hours.
Yes. A lot of hours.
A lot of hours.
I have a lot of friends who really struggle with the thought that like, I don't spend as much time as this teacher does with my own child.
No, because they're in a classroom for 6+ hours a day.
Totally.
Bare minimum.
Then they come home and it's like homework, food, bed, you know, and that's it. That's all that you get. And so to stay dialed in is really tricky, and to know everything that's going on. There was this one tip that this mom was giving to a bunch of us ladies, and she said, I get the most out of my son at the end of the day when he's laying in bed and I'm laying there next to him and I'm just tickling his back, and it all just floods out.
Yeah.
You have to give in that quiet time where it's just the two of you and you're just laying down. And she says every single night, it's my trick to get anything and everything out of my son.
I like doing pickup. My mom was big on that. Like she always worked, but she was like, just try to organize your schedule so you can at least be first point of contact for pickup, because that's when because I get them in the car, and of course initially, how was the day? Fine.
I know.
Like, you know, you get the one word. But then, you know, on the ride, you could kind of dig a little further and try to get more. But I can tell when they walk up to the car if they had a bad day, a bad experience. I can tell by the look on their face. And a couple times, one of my sons got in there, and everything's fine, and then just the waterworks start in the car.
Oh, I could cry. I love your kids.
I'm glad I'm there for that, to be able to say, you know, what happened, this and that. Because think about it, if they're going from, and a lot of times you're not able to do that, but you know, the first time they see you is when hopefully it all comes gushing out.
Well, Teresa has a suggestion. She said, make sure that they know you have their back, document everything, send emails to make sure you have proof that it's in within the school.
Huge emailer.
Okay, so emails, that's a good one.
I think it all goes back to like what your kids are learning in preschool. I love my son's school district. They're amazing. They're taught in their loud voice, stop it, I don't like when you do that. And obviously, as a junior higher, that is going to transition into a different type of a sentence, but him and his classmates are learning right now, stand up for themselves, and his teacher just says, yell, use your loud voice, because some kids, like my son, they're a little more timid, you know, or whereas my daughter, she's the complete opposite. She has learned at the age of 2 to say stop it. And so, you know, hopefully that translates to online and in-person, because you know, we've also dealt with some things with Ollie's around kids who, he's only 3 or 4, but they don't act appropriately. Maybe they're screaming, they're throwing a fit, and he just stands there and he's like, oh my goodness. Or maybe they're stealing his toys, whatever the normal stuff little kids do. So I just try to teach him, hey, be a good example. You know, show him the right way to act, or show her the right way to act. And that can go across all age levels. Even
sometimes I feel like teachers like are a little too PC around me, like or like even a babysitter, like, hey, how did he do?
Right.
Everything's fine. No, but seriously, tell me. Like,
what happened?
Because I mean, my kids are typically with family, or like with my mother-in-law, and she thinks that, they come with halos. But I would like to know, like, no, seriously, how are they?
Yeah.
So I can know
well, they're
what they're
typically
like
better behaved when mom and dad aren't around.
They are. I think that's so true.
Yes.
I have to pray for that. That's the only way I sleep at night. I hope they're better out of house.
Guys, thanks for the comments.
Gosh, so we had a lot to say on this. We had a lot of people chiming in. Thank you guys for sharing your thoughts on this. And
appreciate it.
Wow.
My husband's going to be mad that we talked about kids the whole time.
Don't get into fights with any parents.
I had a story to share.
You had a really good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hope it stops.
Let's do it again tomorrow, shall we?
Yeah. What's tomorrow? Thursday?
Friday Eve.
Tomorrow's my Friday, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it's my Friday, too. I forgot.
Good for you guys.
Oh, God, I got to pack.
Have a great day.